Oh, will you?
I blame Jay Kristoff.
I was literally gonna say that. I was literally gonna say Mr. Kristoff. Anyway, hey Tabitha.
Hey Sherilyn.
What are we up to today?
Today, we are doing our very first TBR jar video.
Yay!
Let's do it.
Cheers, bestie. So we both have 2 TBR jars.
Pails.
They are little pails. Aren't they adorable? And they hang from the little hooks on her TBR cart.
Yeah.
So we each have 2 pails. And one pail has the 50 books that we picked for each other for...
We painstakingly picked for the TBR pail.
Yes. Painstaking pail picks. So the 50 titles that I picked for Tabitha for her cart and she picked for me for my shelf. I have a shelf here now. It's like having my own drawer. Like I have a toothbrush. You know, it's a whole thing. And then we each have our own pail of prompts. Pail prompts. So
Prompts are in the purple or that's not purple.
the purple pail picks.
The purple pale picks are the titles. The other colors are our prompts.
Yes.
So these ones are 50 specific titles, and then these are random prompts that we decided on, and we each have our own so that we could make it unique to us. Although we copied a lot of the same ones.
A lot of them overlap. But also, there's a high probability that we won't overlap in the same video.
Yeah. So our goal here is to pick 3 in whatever way we want to. So if we're feeling extra risky, we can go with the titles, or we can go with the prompts. If we're feeling like we want a little bit of a say. The titles are specifically on my cart or on her alcove. It's more of an alcove than a shelf, okay?
I mean, it's a shelf in an alcove.
It is.
It's a whole thing. We could show you.
And then these green and blue ones can be just any books that are on our TBR. Yes. Where these ones are very specific. So let's do our first pick. I think for my first pick, I'm gonna go with the title.
I'm so sorry. All right, I will also do a title with you. And we're picking 3.
We're picking 1.
Well, 3 total.
3 total.
3 total.
3
okay.
total.
So yes, we're picking. Yeah, I'm reading.
I'm scared.
Okay, I should actually grab one, shouldn't I? Okay.
3, 2, 1. Ooh. Oh no.
I got the Sword of Kaigen.
That's actually perfect.
That is perfect. We're planning to read it soon, so that works out for me.
I got the Teller of Small Fortunes. Let's go grab our books.
Yay.
All right, so here's my first book.
And my first book.
Cheers. Nice. I'm happy with the first pick. Let's see.
Me too. I'm also happy with my first pick. Planning to start reading it literally tomorrow anyway, so that really worked out for me.
Yeah. Okay, so
first prompt.
I'm scared. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Ooh. I got Cold Setting.
I got City on cover.
Okay, let's go find us a book.
No, wait, hold on. What's unfortunate is I had one specific thing in mind for this. I do want to read it. I will grab it. But it's a lot thicker than I was planning for in this moment. So, yeah, that's gonna happen.
Okay. Time to do our reveals.
3, 2, 1. We both have such thick books. I could have gone easy on myself with this one, with like books I'm planning to read or hoping to read soon. Like this was literally the book I had in mind when I wrote this prompt. I just didn't expect to get it on the first try. But no, I genuinely really, the only reason I want to read this one so bad is because of the like gorgeous cover and sprayed edges on this edition. And it's literally all a city. So
yeah,
it's perfect for the prompt.
It is perfect for the prompt. It's also so pretty.
It's so pretty.
And then this one, I was planning on reading it, but also in the planning of like, it could get delayed a couple more months kind of a situation, just because it is thick.
Yeah, we do this to ourselves. We have so many chunky books we want to be reading.
I do need to read it though.
You do. You've been needing to read it for a very.
And there's definitely, I remember there being snow in the first book, so.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Sweet.
Sweet.
So one more prompt.
Yeah.
Or title.
I'm gonna do prompt again.
I think I will too.
Yeah. Just kind of a fun extra. Oh, well, that one jumped out.
Please be nice.
I hope I got a little book.
A little bit.
Small boy. Okay, let's see.
3, 2, 1.
Ooh. I got my current favorite genre.
Ooh, I got witches.
Which you were kind of iffy about putting
I was
in
definitely
here.
iffy about putting this one, but I will find something. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Since we're hiding them, apparently.
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise.
Just a little bit. I don't know. I guess not really. I just grabbed it like this and I'm just been hugging it because I'm that excited to see it.
Ooh, okay. A reveal. 3, 2, 1. Oh, nice.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited for this one.
Yes.
Yes. Fantasy is my current favorite genre. It's also, I'm just getting into it, but I'm so excited for getting into the genre and also for this book specifically. So, Jade City.
Yay. And I got witches. I was hoping to get that more in the fall, but here we are. So I have Autumn of the Grimoire. I need to read this and see if I'm gonna like it anyway. And then this is potentially one that I might, just based on what I've heard, I may end up DNFing it. We'll see.
Yeah.
So
at least you'll know.
at least I will know. Cool. So
Perfect.
let's show our 3 books.
They chonky.
Cool. So we have all of our books. So I guess we better get to reading these, and we will check in with you guys when we have finished.
Cheers. So, we read our books.
We actually filmed this already.
Oh my gosh.
Believe it or not.
We're, yeah, just for
Between
transparency's sake.
us.
Yeah, between us. Don't tell anyone. But we filmed this and it was fantastic. We did a great job. And the audio was shit.
It sounded like you were like inside of a static TV. Exactly.
Don't know what that was. Please don't quote me on that.
Please don't quote me on. So
we've already talked about these.
but we're
you
gonna
don't
do our
know
best.
that.
We're gonna do our best. We got this.
Yeah, it's been a minute since
Yeah.
we read them now.
I have already DNF'd one of them. And that was, and by DNF I mean unhaul. It's gone.
No,
it's,
gee, I was like, you DNF 2 of them.
I DNF'd 2 of them. One of them is just fully not in my house anymore. And that is the Autumn of the Grimoire. That is gone. I didn't like have anything super negative. I didn't get too far into it before I realized it was just not going to be for me. So like, don't assume that it's just not going to be for you. If you like witches and you like the more autumnal, fall kind of witches, then it could very well be for you. The writing didn't seem bad or anything like that. It just, I have learned over time that that's just not for me.
That's fair.
So it's gone.
That is fair, yeah.
So what's your first book that you read?
My first book that I read was sort of Kaigen. But how did I end up reading that? I must have had an ebook, yeah. Like, I didn't actually hold any of these in my hands. Any of these being Tabitha's 3 editions of the book that we're just gonna let you know all exist right here. So I read sort of Kaigen, and I cried. I laughed, I cried, it moved me. We both read this one, and it was amazing.
One of my favorite books this year so far.
So amazing. Now, I need y'all to know that this book and this book, so much happens in both of these books, and this is book 1 of a trilogy, and this is a standalone. And I read both of them, and I was amazed.
They both have very emotional moments.
I cried. My emotions hurt. My emotions went through a lot of things, okay? A lot happened in both of these books. And, yeah, this one was a whole complete standalone story all on its own, and this one was the start of a trilogy. I have since completed the trilogy, so I am okay again. But these are both phenomenal books. Prepare yourself when you read them, okay?
What are these
because
books?
you're going to. That's a great question. Let me back up a moment. I'm just 100%
You're just like, these are
vibes.
emotional. You're gonna fucking
Just
cry.
vibes at this point because it's been that long since I read them. Okay, Sword of Kaigen, like I said, standalone. It's Asian inspired. It is set in, this part always trips me up. I'm like, I can tell you about a book. No, I can't. No, I can't.
It's set in like a rural town.
Yes. Okay, because my brain doesn't know how to put words together in a way that will actually convey any useful information, I'm just gonna tell you the tiny little bit from the blurb inside here, and that'll get us going. So it says, a mother struggling to repress her violent past, a son struggling to grasp his violent future, a father blind to the danger that threatens them all. So that This is a story about family and tradition and
It's dual POV.
dual POV. Where did I go? Family, relationships, duty, responsibility, traditions, everything, all of that encompasses, tied together. And just like the difficulty of figuring out which way to go, how to grapple with things. I don't want to tell you too much. My brain is not what it once was, but
yeah, there's definitely some grief in here. This is a wartime, so
that helps. Yeah.
so things are gonna happen in this book, and
It's a lot of like discovery and
Right.
what do you do with that?
the mom is fulfilling her role as a wife and struggling with her violent past. The son is learning all about the world around them and that not everything he hears is true. So he could have been misled in some ways. So he's getting, what is that,
Disillusioned.
yeah, by all of the politics and like the history that they've been learning locally.
Because he's like kind of coming of age, so he's at like everything he grew up with versus like, wait, what's actually out there? What's like, is what I've believed my whole life true? Is there elements of lies and or like manipulation almost?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of, like I said, grappling with the truth and reality and everything you've ever known.
And pair all of that with an elemental magic system that is just so cool and just like beautiful. I wouldn't say necessarily world building because we don't know much outside of the world.
Yeah.
The small area that we're in, but the descriptions of like the scenery and everything.
Oh, it's very pretty. The book is very pretty. As you can see.
Yes. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, 5 stars all the way. No regrets. No notes. Read it. You won't regret it. Your heart might hurt a little bit, but you'll be okay. One thing that I'd said to Tabitha in the before times was that this book like rips your heart out, tears it to shreds, and then pieces it back together and like heals your soul. So there's that whole bunch of everything. All
Perfect
in one
book.
book. Yeah, it's
Perfect
perfect.
book.
It's perfect.
Yay.
So.
And then you already talked about your second book. Can you
Yes.
say a little bit more about the
Jade City. So a whole lot happens in this book as well. Similar to sort of Kaigen, except it's just the first book in a trilogy. So there's even more coming. And I've read the trilogy at this point and there's so much, so much. So this one though, book 1 in the trilogy, it lays a fantastic foundation for the trilogy. And it is in like contemporary urban setting. It very much feels like based on Earth, kind of like it's not it's its own world, but it very much feels like relatable, rather than that sort of like fantasy world that you don't have any way of understanding. Anyway, it's third person, so many storylines. You're mainly focused on the members of this one family who are
the No Peak clan.
The No Peak clan. So in the city of Jonloon, in the country of Kaigen, that's where this is set. There are 2 rival clans that kind of rule the city. Yeah, you're following a lot of that like clan family, that mentality, that social system. And the Jade aspect of this book is that there's what they call bioenergetic jade, where the native people of this island can essentially like get power from jade, like the stone. And they can enhance abilities, kind of like physical abilities as well as like mental abilities. And it's really neat, but that creates a very distinct class system of like the people of the green bones who can use jade and those who can't. But yeah, that aids the whole clan versus clan situation. And all of the storylines that you're following in this, you get lots of perspectives on just what that does to their society and the people in the city. And
it's mostly focused on one family.
It is just focused on one family.
There's one perspective.
Yeah, there's a perspective outside the family, but yeah, it's basically you're right. I don't. It's
a lot of like family drama. So like the first book itself is very narrow in scope, and you're mostly focused on like how these people are coming into, the next generation is coming into power, and how are they all dealing with it, how do they take their family roles and like what is expected of them, and how do they deal with it if they don't necessarily fit with that role or they don't feel comfortable in that role, things like that.
Yes. This is why we bring both brain cells to work.
Both of them.
So both.
We each got one.
She has one. Sometimes it works. This is a really good first book in the series, and to me, it just like goes up from there. So check that out.
Sweet. And then I'll do my next two, because this one...
I did just kind of monopolize everything.
This one I also DNF'd. It never really hooked me. The characters didn't feel very strong. It felt almost ham-fisted with the themes. Like it was too...
Ham-fisted?
Yes.
Is that a word?
Yes.
Cool. I'll look that up later.
It felt very like heavy-handed with the themes. It was like very themes presented through dialogue, which is something for cozy fantasy. A lot of cozy fantasy has like a little bit heavier handed on the themes, but there wasn't enough outside of that for me to grasp onto. Oh. When I pick up a cozy fantasy, I want strong atmosphere. I want legends and lattes where you're describing the smell of the coffee to me. I want that beautiful friendship, beautiful relationships, things like that. And I wasn't feeling it so far. I didn't finish it, so very well could be later. But because I think because they're traveling a lot, they're not really settling in a spot.
Oh, that's fair. You could build the atmosphere out, but you don't, because you don't really get like settled into it.
Yeah, I never got settled into it. I don't know if they stay in a spot eventually or anything like that. I was just bored. I didn't like any of the characters. It got to be too far in. I think it was like a third of the way in, and I wasn't vibing with anybody or anything. I liked the idea. Like there were some cool ideas in here. So like she's the teller of small fortunes. She doesn't tell you big fortunes. She just tells you small fortunes. So like if you go to her, she might say, I'm seeing that your husband has green nails or something like that. And then you're like, oh,
maybe
cool.
Say green eyes. Green nails. Like that's a choice.
That's not the exact example. It's not the exact example in here, but it's on that.
That's what the brain cell came up with today.
Yes, it's what my one came up with. But it's just small ones like that. So like, oh, you can interpret some things with that. Like, oh, okay, cool. So I am going to get married. It is going to be to a husband. Things like that. And they're going to have green nails for some reason.
It will be green nails.
But they're just little tiny fortunes. Yeah, so I think
that's like a fun concept.
It's a cool concept. And then she meets with a few people. One of the people, their daughter got taken away. And so she has a vision of him with his daughter, like reading. I think she's like reading. He's like reading to her or something. And so she knows
the daughter comes back somehow.
Yeah, but
okay. Interesting.
It was boring.
Aww.
I don't know how with those concepts it ended up being boring, but And then my last book, finally one I didn't DNF.
Yay!
Finally one I gave 5 stars. And my second favorite book of the month, which we'll get into my favorite book of the month when we do your last book, but spoiler alert. Loved this follow-up to Empire of the Vampire. It didn't feel like it suffered from middle book syndrome at all. Loved it so much. The ending was cheesy, but in the best way. I enjoyed every aspect of it. This is the sequel to a book, so it's kind of hard to get into the plot of this, but essentially, at the start of book 1, we're following Gabriel. He is a something.
Literally called Empire of the Vampire.
He is. Forget I said that. Me. That's out of your brain.
It's a coming-of-age tale of a young man named Gabriel. Nothing to do with the vampire yet. It's literally called Empire of the Vampire. What do you expect?
So kind of hard to go into what all this is about because it is a sequel. But in book 1, we're following Gabriel, who is a prisoner in the vampire kingdom. And we're following, like, what happened to him, how he got there. He's got, like, kind of 2 timelines. 2 or 3. I think he's got 3 timelines that he's going. Yeah, we've got 3 timelines. We've got him being in the prison cell. We've got, like, his coming of age, like, childhood, how he got to be where he was.
Random.
And then his adulthood. So it works very well. It may not sound like it.
Jay Kristoff, he can, yeah, but okay.
And there's, there's the coming of age element. There's...
Which is not what I would expect from...
Mr. Kristoff.
Mr. Kristoff
is known for writing some smut as well. And I will say he has it. Okay. So,
I mean, I've seen art on Mr. Kristoff's page. We're here for it.
Yeah. So that's, I would say more, I like the steamy scenes in book 1 a bit more. But there are reasons for that.
It's just our type. Don't worry about it, guys. But also, if you're Mr. Kristoff, just keep it going. Do good.
But yeah, this picks up where the book 1 left off and carried it. I'm so freaking excited for book 3. Okay, that was a mess, but we're just gonna figure that shit out.
Okay, anyway. What a mess indeed.
5 stars.
5 stars. Speaking of 5 stars, this beautiful, I don't know what I'm doing.
I'll hold yours and you'll hold.
You can't say things like that! Oh, will you?
I blame Jay Kristoff.
I was literally gonna say that! I was literally gonna say Mr. Kristoff. Anyway, speaking of...
So bank that book. That's probably...
Can't take us anywhere! Okay. We're back. May I just once again remind you, we did this once before, and we're a hot mess today. So just, I don't even know if this is gonna be in the final cut, but that's editor Tabitha's decision, or mine. That might be. That's an editor's decision.
That's your decision. Oh,
we're in trouble. Okay, my last book for this TBR jar was the Silverblood Promise, and oh my gosh, this is my favorite book of the year so far. It is only the beginning of March when we're filming this, but favorite book of the year so far. I loved it. This is a masterpiece. This is 10 of 10, 10 of 1. Beautiful, no notes. I loved it so much.
can't wait for book 2.
Can't wait for book 2. Comes out this fall.
What is this book?
What is this book?
Okay, let me Google it.
Let me Google it. Yeah, not like I read it or anything. I do have some notes. We are following a man whose father was recently murdered. Shock. And we're trying... I'm so sorry. I apologize. Gasp.
You mean you didn't already develop a passion for his father before he was offed?
We never met the man. No, but homeboy's dad dies, and it looks shady. It looks like murder, and we're trying to figure out how that happened and who did that. The father, the deceased, leaves a note in his own blood for his son with 3 words. The son's name, a city, and what looks to be another name. And so the son ventures off to the city, trying to figure out what or who or where this other word is, and shenanigans ensue. It is beautiful adventure. We have so much action, so much mystery. We have found family. We have some unique, twisty magic situations. We have there's a companion who is my absolute favorite. Love. Yeah. Are there more words that you would say about this book?
I mean, I agree with everything you said here. My favorite book of this month, I will say Sword of Kaigen is my favorite book of the year. Yeah, so 2 in this video, that's pretty fantastic.
This worked out for us.
Very successful.
Yeah.
Other than, we're going to forget about My 2DS. Other than those 2, every other book in here has been great. But yes, so good. Very funny. I didn't realize how funny this was going to be.
It is unserious, but also serious, but also unserious. There's a good level of humor in this.
Not so unserious that it's like, because there's a level of unserious that I don't love.
That's it's just the right amount of unserious and the right kind of humor.
The first, I think it was chapter. I think the first chapter threw me off because it felt like it was going to be very lit RPG-like.
Yeah, it literally felt like you're starting out your D&D campaign.
Yeah.
It was in a tavern and yeah.
But then it takes its own, it goes very epic, very...
Yeah. Oh yeah, epic. That's a good word for it. Little beauty right here. I love this book so much.
Love these characters. Fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think I had any notes, anything.
I thought the
just want
artifacts
more.
were cool.
Yes.
There's so many cool things.
There are
about this
so
book.
many cool elements.
The more
in
I
this book.
think about it, the just cooler.
Yeah,
it
it just gets better and better as it ages well, like fine wine. But yeah, this one I actually got my own copy of, which I'm gonna say this so many times on this channel. Just bear with me. Most of my books come from Tabitha's library because she has 1,000 books, and that just makes sense. But this book just kept calling to me even before we started it, because of course we buddy read it. Tabitha has this gorgeous broken binding edition, and every time I saw it on her shelves, it called to me, which is how it ended up in this video. And I don't remember if I said that in the very beginning. I'm saying it now. But it called to me every single time. So before I even started it to find out if I even liked it, once again, saw it in the store and was like, that's it, I'm getting my own. And then I, that same day, read like 200 pages or something.
And you were over there just
I was
cackling every
the
now
best
and then.
time. The best time. Yeah, because of course we were in the store at the same time, and I bought the book, and then we went to a park and like read, and it was like a really nice weather day. We don't get many of those in Texas. But yeah, we literally were just reading, chilling, hanging out, and I was just like having the best time, and I was in the zone, and I would read this again, which is saying a whole lot because I don't really reread books, but I would read this again because I loved it that much.
Great plot, great characters, great humor. Everything.
Literally 10 of 10. So, and it was only book 1. We get more. I'm so happy that we get more. So, I do apparently have high hopes for book 2 because book 1 was so amazing. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, where it looks like book 2 is gonna go looks exciting. So, yes.
That's all of our books.
Yeah.
You got 3 5-stars. I got a 5-star, but I also, because you read these, I also read them.
Yes, you read all of these.
And I got 2 5-stars and a 4.5 star. So, hey,
That's a
pretty
win.
successful.
That is definitely a win.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Let us know what you're reading. And if you're not feeling chatty,
Leave us any kind of green emoji for Jade City.
perfect. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye besties.